No, it's so hard to do what you really, really desperately want in life. It's so much easier just to do you don't care either way about.
Wow.
It finally happened. Cate Blanchett just dropped a bombshell on Blake Lively and didn't even blink.
um,
Sure, here's a rewritten version with the same tone and punch, just tightened up and smoothed for flow. It turns out the era of Blake's quiet sabotage and silent bullying is crashing harder than her box office numbers. And this time, it's Cate, cool, composed, unbothered Cate pulling back the curtain. She's exposing how Blake hijacked her channel legacy and dragged her husband into the mess just to feed that overcooked ego. And yeah, you're probably tired of hearing how Blake steamrolls into everything she touches like she owns it. But this one cuts deeper. This isn't some petty Instagram swipe or a snatched brand deal. This time, Blake Lively shoved Cate Blanchett out of channel like she was just a background extra in her own story. And let's not forget, we're talking about Cate Blanchett, a woman whose career is built on raw, undeniable talent, not curated lighting and lemon-filtered aesthetics.
Being attractive doesn't preclude being intelligent.
Cate had been the face of channel for over a decade. She didn't need to post performative quotes or stage curated photo shoots in her kitchen to stay relevant. She simply showed up with grace, authenticity, and a level of loyalty that most celebrities couldn't even begin to understand. Her partnership with Channel wasn't just about wearing their designs, it was about adding depth, artistic credibility, and a timeless presence to the brand. In 2020, that bond went even deeper when her husband, Andrew Upton, wrote a silent black and white film that Channel featured as part of their cinematic capsule. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't trying to sell anything. It was just two women, one story, no dialogue, only raw emotion and expression. It was a piece of art, not a marketing tool. And then Blake came in and shattered all of it. Just 2 weeks before filming was set to begin, Cate received a flat, impersonal email from Channel. Creative alignment is no longer in place. Translation? She'd been replaced. No call, no conversation. Just cut. Shortly after, Blake Lively was revealed as the new face of the exact same campaign. No explanation. Just a quiet erasure of everything Cate had built.
Cate Blanchett, what is your moral compass? Where does kindness and humanity sit in a brutal world? Because those are important questions to ask right now.
In my vagina.
Cate wasn't just replaced, she was erased. The original film, Andrew's script, and Cate's quiet, meaningful storytelling were scrapped for a flashy crossover between Channel, Netflix, and Blake's wellness brand. Out went substance, in came filtered photos and empty empowerment slogans. Hollywood called it reinvention, but really it was a takeover driven by influence, money, and social media clout. A stylist later revealed Blake was never the original choice. Her team swooped in with a multi-brand deal too tempting for Channel to resist. The final blow? A private Channel dinner at a French chateau. Cate, still invited, showed up poised despite being sidelined. Meanwhile, Blake sat front and center and reportedly dismissed the original script as beautiful but outdated. Someone laughed and replied, "You mean Andrew's script? I didn't even know it was her husband's." But legacy doesn't really sell to Gen Z anyway.
Well, my husband, Andrew Upton and I ran the Sydney Theatre Company he ran it for 10 years almost, and this is the culmination. This is the last play he programmed.
This all went down while Cate was in the same room, just 2 tables away, silently watching her husband's work be dismissed as outdated and her own campaign reduced to a youth-obsessed rebrand with 0 credit given to the people who built it. She didn't react and speak because when something is so obviously beneath you, you don't argue, you rise above it. Days later, the new campaign dropped. Blake was everywhere, instantly becoming the face of Channel's latest direction. There was no mention of Cate, no acknowledgement of the years she had spent shaping the brand's narrative with depth and intention. Blake stepped into the spotlight with her usual charm and hollow empowerment lines, and the world applauded like it was progress. But the real drama hadn't even started yet. On April 16, 2023, the entire facade came crashing down. A British fashion magazine accidentally published an article that had clearly been written for Cate Blanchett's original Channel campaign, before she was ghosted, before the silent film concept was scrapped, and before Blake's sugar-coated rollout began. It wasn't scandalous by design, it was just honest. And that was the problem. The article dropped at 9 a.m. London time, seemingly a normal long read about Channel's upcoming cinematic campaign. But it named Andrew Upton as the screenwriter, described the black and white minimalist tone, and made it clear that Cate was far more than a face in couture. She was shaping the campaign from the inside out. Most damning of all, the article locked in the timeline. Filming had been scheduled for March. Cate had been involved since 2020. This wasn't a creative pivot. It was a calculated replacement. 3 hours later, the article vanished, scrubbed like it never existed. But screenshots had already made it to Reddit before Channel could even blink. The post went viral and users quickly began comparing Cate's original campaign elements with Blake's final version. Phrasing, color palette, even the final tagline. It wasn't innovation. It was copy-paste with a different actress. A Reddit user summed it up best. This is not a rebrand. It's a replacement. That post exploded with 14,000 upvotes in 6 hours. TikTok caught on, and within a day, creators were making side-by-side videos. One viral post read, "This is how you rewrite someone else's legacy," racking up over 2 million views. It wasn't idle gossip anymore. People started pulling receipts, contracts, PR memos, timelines. A fashion YouTuber, Red Lipers Reels, dropped a takedown video titled "The Channel Campaign Blake Lively Doesn't Want You to Know About," even reading directly from the deleted article and pausing mid-sentence to say, "They didn't even change the structure." Channel's team went into full crisis mode. Metadata disappeared. Cached versions were erased. Journalists who reached out got stonewalled. One editor tweeted, "Tried getting a comment from Channel Re." The deleted article got nothing but static. The silence is deafening. That silence said more than any PR statement ever could. Because when the article vanished, the truth didn't just leak. It screamed. Cate wasn't replaced for creative reasons. She was erased. But while Blake's team scrambled with staged pap walks and heavily edited promos, Cate was working on something else. Something sharper. Not a podcast or a pity interview, but art. Real, surgical, soul-cutting art. In June 2023, just 2 months after the PR firestorm, Cate and Andrew dropped a surprise play at the Sydney Theatre Company. No red carpet, no media blitz, just a quiet listing and a sparse announcement. Written by Andrew, directed by Cate. The plot? A woman loses control of her narrative as a younger woman steps in and claims it as her own, convinces the world it always belonged to her. Sound familiar? Originally titled asterisk lines that weren't meant to be read asterisk. The play debuted to an audience of just 400. No press, no critics. But someone leaked a 1-minute clip from the third act, and that was all it took. In the scene, Cate's character stares down her rival and delivers the line that would echo across the internet. Asterisk, the worst part isn't that you took it. It's that you convinced them it was always yours. And now when they applaud, I'm clapping too, because I don't even recognize what they're praising anymore. Asterisk, that one moment went viral. TikTok, Tumblr, Twitter, everywhere. Fashion Twitter reposted the clip with captions like, "This isn't fiction. This is a confession." One viral post read, "She's not acting. She's telling you what happened," and racked up over 5 million views in a week. Cate didn't need headlines. She didn't need to argue. She just let the truth bleed through the art. And she did it so quietly, so devastatingly, that by the time people realized it was a revenge monologue, it was already lodged in their minds. By mid-July 2023, Blake's polished image started to crack, and not behind closed doors, but publicly. The final blow came from inside her own PR team. A single leaked email, dated July 10th, landed in a Discord server dedicated to marketing tea. One sentence stood out in bold. "If Cate's going to go the art revenge route, we'll need to elevate the language around Blake's arc, shift messaging to creative reclamation." That phrase detonated online. Twitter shredded it within hours. Memes flew fast. One tweet read, "Creative reclamation is what you call it when you steal someone's story, get caught, and then rename the theft like it's performance art." Parody slogans popped up everywhere. "Just stole my cousin's birthday party idea and called it festive reclamation." "Ruined my co-worker's pitch and labeled it corporate alignment therapy." By July 12th, creative reclamation wasn't a branding win. It was a joke, a full-blown digital roast. Reddit exploded. The illusion had officially collapsed.
And what people don't realize about Chekhov is it's funny.
It's a comedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cherry Orchard, which is his most, well-known play, probably.
This wasn't just social media gossip. It was a full-blown public unraveling. People started connecting the dots. Cate's Berlin quote, the vanished channel article, the eerily familiar play, and now Blake's flailing PR. Her teen was bleeding credibility, and no amount of hashtags could stop it. Then came another mess. A leaked behind-the-scenes clip from Fashion Unfiltered showed the host rehearsing an intro that called out Channel's creative swap and mentioned Cate by name. Blake's team panicked, pulled her from the episode hours before taping, and ghosted with no explanation. The clip leaked online, went viral, and made one thing clear. If you're scared of the question, you already know the answer. Blake's team tried one final save, the big August 2023 Viva Vogue cover. Interview done, shoot wrapped, press kits out. But 48 hours before release, it was quietly pulled. An insider admitted it wasn't strategy, it was reputation management. She'd become a liability. Meanwhile, Cate still hadn't said a word, but an old Berlin quote resurfaced and hit harder than ever. There's a difference between honoring the story and owning it like it was always yours. It wasn't in the official transcript, but someone recorded it and posted it with the caption, "The most elegant warning shot I've ever heard." Suddenly, hashtag CKED the last act trended. Fans flooded timelines with her old red carpet clips, interviews, and iconic quotes, reminding everyone why Cate had always been in a league of her own. And then came the knockout punch. A Channel fan account posted the 2023 Legacy Collaborator reel. Florence, Kristen, Tilda, Cate still there. Blake, not even a pixel. The caption, they kept Florence, they kept Kristen. But Blake, not even a mention. The internet sealed the verdict with one final tweet. A split screen of Blake's channel line, "Some stories were never told until now," next to the deleted UK article's final line. "Some stories are best told in silence." Over 40,000 reposts. The message? This wasn't branding. It was theft dressed in couture. And Blake Lively didn't just lose the narrative, she became the cautionary tale. So now the only question left is, does Hollywood forgive or does it forget?